The views expressed during this program does not necessarily represent those of really any sane person with a brain. Listening to this program may actually kill brainwaves and make you dumber than you may already be. Listener discretion is advised. Really, because this show sucks to begin with.
Hello, handsome.
How are you? It's been a little bit.
Just a little bit. Well, you went ahead. You did a show without me. You did not care that I was not there. But that's okay. I'm used to it.
We all have favorites, and you're not one of mine, but that's okay.
Which is fat. Listen, like Special Delivery Jones, I was on a very successful tour of the Orient. Now I'm back to wrestle here in the WWF, and we'll see what happens. And
the only man with a hole in his back.
That's right.
You got to love that. He always had that hole in his back, which I never quite understood. But SD Jones, Special Delivery Jones, always good enough just to lose.
Right. And always away on a very successul tour of the Orient when he comes back.
He loved the Orient,
Just
like George Animal Steel was from parts unknown, or he was a teacher from the greater Detroit area. We'll never know.
SD loved the Mushu. So just who doesn't?
Exactly. I mean, you're talking to two fat guys. I'm Porterhouse.
And I am Bill Powers. We are the Fantasy Fat Guys. Welcome.
And we are here, and we want you to, listen to our show, and you can hear us where, Mr. Powers?
Well, I think we were trying to put everybody towards iTunes, but
Spotify is where we kind of went to, but we can go.
You went to Spotify?
Well, yeah, Spotify. You can pick us up all over, but we're trying to consolidate our large listenership so we can study it a little bit better.
We're trying to consolidate the both of you so we know exactly where we are.
Exactly.
So, anyway, listen, what a week, man. Holy
this has
crow.
been true madness.
Yeah.
Started with the brackets and then all of a sudden Tom Brady. But I think we start with baseball because that was the first thing that happened.
Got to start with baseball. And, our Yankees make a big trade, getting Donaldson and a catcher for Gary Sanchez,
and they got the utility kid. They got kind of falafel. Yeah, he likes falafels. We like falafels. Apparently, he started out as a catcher, and he's eligible as a catcher in fantasy leagues. Or he was anyway, unless they changed that.
Yeah,
but now he's supposed to be a really good defensive shortstop. So all the rumors of Didi and all the thoughts of Correa, they've all gone out the window. We are right. We have falafel playing short.
I love falafels, a little cayenne pepper and stuff. But I got to tell you, I know a lot of people who don't like the Yankees, or even the ones that do, don't feel the Yankees did anything. Falafel's a scrappy player.
He's a good player, and Donaldson, if healthy, is better than Urshela, and Urshela gets hurt every year too. So let's not act like Urshela's been this pillar of 162 games.
And you know what?
It's not. I like Gio. It's not a shot at Gio.
And a very under the radar pick that I like also is the Tim LeCastro guy who they got last year, and then he tore something, and he was out for the rest of the year after one game. But those are some of those scrappy guys that got him through the tough times last year when everybody was hurt. When the Yankees were playing with the with the AAA team.
Well, you sit there and you look at the Yankee outfield, right? And you have Judge. Mm-hmm. And is Stanton going to have to play? Is Gallo going to be in center? Is Hicks going to be back and healthy to go?
Right.
The odds are, out of those four guys I just named, three of them are going to be on the DL for any given length of time.
Oh,
so you need scrappy guys that can play all over the place, and that's why we talked about Brett Gardner when we had Sweeney on. And, they're going to need those extra outfielders to help out. And, but now, if Torres is a stationary target there at second, and they re-signed Rizzo to play first.
Yeah, 2 years, $32 million.
I guess they didn't think they were going to get Freeman. So they went after Rizzo.
I think that was pretty much a given, number one.
Well, I mean, it was pretty well known that he didn't want to come here, from what I understand. So.
Right. And where else are you going to go? I don't know if Voit is the answer, but I mean, keep Voit. Voit can DH if you need him. Still have him on the bench. Yeah, still have another player there. But I got to say, I like Rizzo for that kind of money. You didn't.
No, I think they did well with Rizzo, and I think that the lineup is still relatively scary. Now, Sanchez, by name recognition, always made the Yankee Giants, the Yankee lineup look pretty good, but he just hadn't always been consistently producing. So now we go with the scrappy guys,
But now we don't have a catcher.
Well, apparently the kid that the kid that's coming up is built like a monster.
Yeah, but he can't hit.
And Hishigawa also can't hit, so that should be fun.
So it's going to be fantastic.
Listen, you know what? We'll make do somehow. Right.
So, I mean, if to wrap up the Yankees, as a Yankee fan, this is going to be a tough division. I don't see us winning anything. I see us maybe making the playoffs now that you have an extra team now. But this is certainly not a championship team. The pitching is still up in the air. I mean, even Sweeney said that Severino was pitching well. Cole, hopefully he pitches well. See what happens when Talon comes back. Cortez pitched well last year. You know what you're going to get from him. Jordan Montgomery. So we got a lot of pieces, but I don't know if we really have the top-notch staff that we need. We have the hitters, like we've mentioned. We think we have plenty of bats as long as they can stay healthy. And now Gallo might be able to hit 213 because there's no, there's no switch. The what the hell is it called?
The shift.
Thank you.
They banned the shift, which is kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Telling teams how they're allowed to defend. Listen, baseball has gotten to be very, very, numbers focused. And I'm sure it means something, and I'm sure it works and all that stuff.
Right.
But at the same point in time, there's part of me that likes baseball for what baseball used to be. And when I brought up those questions to Sweeney the other day, and I brought up three superstars. I brought up, Tony Gwynn and Greg Maddux and Ozzie Smith. But, but there's a lot of guys that may not have – would Mark Grace get a look as a first baseman that was not a Hall of Famer, that did not hit? Or Bill Buckner, who, those people that don't realize, Bill Buckner only made one error in 1986. Which is the one everybody remembers. He was a good glove guy, good hitter. Keith Hernandez, would he get the look? I mean, so you sit there and you wonder the way baseball has changed because there used to be quality outs and there used to be more things that happen. And, I like what Sweeney brought up about the enlargement of the bases and getting the stolen base going again, because to me, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Not something you would think, but, when they were talking about it, they were making a big deal out of it. You're like, who cares? But,
but when he brought up that point, I was like, I didn't think about that 6 inches this way and 6 inches that way.
I mean, your wife thinks about it, but
exactly.
Yeah.
Listen,
anyway,
it's all class all the time.
All class all the time. So now you got to question whether or not the Yankees have done enough, because now, I guess earlier today, the Toronto Blue Jays traded for Matt Chapman. So Matt Chapman is now with Toronto, and Toronto, between their pitching and the hitters that they already had, Toronto is going to be scary on paper, scary good.
I mean, they got everybody's kid.
Right.
And they're all pretty good. I mean, you Guerrero playing first, you got Bichette playing short, you got third base with Chapman you just picked up. You got Covan Biggio, who might DH, might play a little infield. I mean, it's a pretty quality team right there. Not even talking about guys like Teoscar Hernandez and stuff like that. I mean, that offense is unreal. And they added pitching. Now, I don't know how great the pitching is. They added guys like Kikuchi and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, they lost Robbie Ray, but they brought in who's the guy they brought in?
Gausman.
Who is it?
Kevin Gausman.
Oh, Gausman, right? Who had never had a good year until he pitched in San Francisco. So I don't know if it was a National League thing or or whatever. But they went out there and they did a lot. So they're going to be a team to beat. They lost Semien, they lost Ray. I mean, they did lose some players, but they have so much talent.
Yeah, and I don't see that being an issue in any way, shape, or form. Now, the Red Sox have not really done a lot. So, as a matter of fact, they've subtracted with Kyle Schwarber signing with the Philadelphia Phillies this week.
Yeah, I actually really just really recently, and I thought that they would find a way to keep Schwarber. I really did. But outside of that, the Red Sox have not been major players in free agency.
No.
And the Rays, who are rumored to be in the Freeman sweepstakes, they normally are not big free agent, players. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
They're not spending the money. They're not spending the money for Freeman.
Well, it's hard to imagine that they would until they move to a real city that will support their team.
Right.
It's just one of those things. So, but Schwarber going to the Phillies, I think that's a blow to the Red Sox. I mean, the Rays did sign Kluber. Let's not take that away because he's going to come back to bite us in the what?
Yeah, the buttocks
and right in the buttocks.
They said it was $1 million. They said it was $1 million shot, but the Army must keep that money. I haven't seen a penny.
Well, if anyone reminds all of us of Forrest Gump, it's pretty much you,
right? But continuing along the ways, lots of guys have signed. Freddie Freeman, though, he's just like blowing in the wind. Now, he was rumored maybe to go to the Rays. He's not going to the Rays. That's definitely not going to happen. Toronto jumped into the fray. They're not doing it now because now that they got Chapman, they're not doing it.
Well, yeah, because Guerrero is going to move to third so that Chapman Freeman can play first. But now that they signed Chapman as Gold Glover, right, they're not moving him.
Right. The Yankees picked up Rizzo, so they're not signing him. The Dodgers are still in play, and from what I understand, the Padres have jumped into the fray. But
how much money can they really spend? I don't think they can spend that money until Hosmer's off the books, and I don't know if anybody's spending that kind of money on Eric Hosmer. So no. It's like it would be a contract where the Padres would have to eat a lot of Hosmer's money and have Freeman. And listen, I get it, but the Padres took a blow this week. Fernando Tatis is going for surgery. My keeper, my guy. I have to make a determination if he's worth keeping with an 11th round pick, which he probably is. But I can't keep him beyond this year. So it's like, damn it. One of my best player coming into this year is now going to not play until earliest June.
But you know what? Like you said, he's an 11th round pick. You're not going to get, even if you only get him for half the year, what 11th round pick is going to give you the offense that he's going to give you? You're not going to find that, dude.
No, I know. I have no choice, but I hate the fact that my best player is going to be on the DL for the first 3 months of the year, and I know it before the draft starts. It just kind of sucks.
You're like the Mets. It's over before it begins.
Well, the Mets, I mean, listen, nobody's going to want to face that pitching staff.
Oh, not at all.
And offensively bringing in guys like Marte and stuff like that, you feel like they should be better. It just, you wonder, they're in the same division with the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
The Marlins are getting better.
Right.
The Phillies are solid. It's such a tough division. And then that's a rebuilding, but you never know how far away they are. They got guys like Soto that can win any series on you at any given moment. So
yeah, they'll be okay. I'm not worried. I think the Mets, as long as everybody stays healthy, DeGrom says that his elbow is fine. So if DeGrom stays healthy and Scherzer stays healthy, they're going to be fine. I don't think you have to worry about him. Although Alonso almost getting killed in a crash this week.
Yeah, he was a little scared on that one. That was a little frightening for the polar bear, Pete Alonso. Imagine
what it was like for his wife watching it. She was in the car right behind
I know. I can't even imagine. Watching that whole thing.
But the polar bear is fine. Now, quickly, let's kind of take a peek. Baseball, the owners don't make any money. And that was kind of the whole fight during the during the lockout and stuff like that. I was just looking at this Porterhouse. 190 players have gotten free agent contracts. Baseball has doled out $2.497 billion in salary.
I think baseball's healthy and doing okay.
$1 billion. Are you kidding me?
The funny thing is, two of the top 3 or 4 free agents haven't even signed yet. One being Correa and one being Freeman. So, right. I mean, more money's coming. Chris Bryant just signed with the Rockies today. It doesn't make sense for the Rockies, but if you're a fantasy owner, it makes a lot of sense that he's going to clean up in Colorado.
Yeah, that's just atrocious. What kind of people are running Colorado? All of a sudden, Colorado looks like Pittsburgh, except they spent a little money.
No, you're right. Kenley Jansen also still out there. No one has signed him yet.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's going to be one of those last second things. And here's something else that you have to look out for, by the way, that I think should be a concern for teams. The Freddie Freemans, the Correas, the Jansen. Already everybody was going to have a short spring. These guys are going to be even shorter. So these are the type of guys that you could see signing for big money, and then they're going to be out half the year with stupid injuries like hamstrings and stuff like that.
I mean, it's not as bad as the old days because they do work out full year, but it's still not
not baseball
ready. It's not baseball ready.
It's not baseball ready. It's a totally different thing.
I agree with you. And then will the hitting catch up to the pitching? Are your pitchers going to go more than 4 innings or 3 innings to start? There's a lot of question marks. Other free agents that are big that are still out there. We talked about Kenley, but Michael Conforto still not signed.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Castellano still not signed.
That is unbelievable. Nick Castellano. I mean, gosh, I wish the Yankees would go after him, but I don't see them spending the money for him.
And then Pineda's not signed and Greinke's not signed, right?
Yep. I got to tell you, Greinke, I mean, when the guy throws the ball 56 miles an hour, I'm not a big fan of Greinke.